Hey everyone, my name's Adam Archer, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Dalton knife collection. Hopefully I'll pick up a couple more this weekend, as I am going to a show that should have some Dalton knives, or at least some more automatic knives. I have a couple that I know that I'll be getting, not Daltons, but automatic knives at that show. So let's just dive right in. I do have a good assortment of Daltons, and then I do have a couple Dalton Knuckles as well because he was popular for that also. So let's jump in the middle and then go outwards. Go with the small ones first. We have the Dalton California Special. We actually have two of them. Very hard opening. You can see that one's a silver handle and this one's more of a gray one. One is serrated, one is unserrated. We'll show that in up close also. So there you go. Very beautiful knives. Very hard hitting as well. Next we have the CS Militia in blue. Very cool there. And that does have a little engraving on the blade. I almost picked up a CS Militia that was a belt buckle knife, but somebody bought it right before me and then threw it on Craigslist for twice the price. So I was going to be able to get it for like $250, $270, and they threw it for $550 on Craigslist. Still haven't sold it, or they haven't, but still mad about that. Here is another CS Militia in a yellow or gold color. And that actually has a false edge on the back. Very cool there. I think this one has a tiger on the blade. It says DCC on the back. Full-size pocket clip though. Talking about kind of where I got these. I actually don't remember where I got these two. Purchased these two from Blade Show, a knife dealer that I buy a lot of knives from. Next we have the Dalton Trail Walker. A very thin automatic. Would be nice to carry with you when you are hiking or something like that because it is very light. Just make sure that you can see that. Next is probably the biggest talking piece, and it is the Mini Crusader. This is a single action out the front. It also has a hole where you can actually use it as a necklace, like a little pendant. So you just push down on this little plunge lock, and it shoots out the blade. It probably isn't focused at all, but there you go. Those are getting pretty rare. I had to hunt that one down. We have the Dalton full-size Crusaders Cross. Right there. Got this one at Blade Show. I actually purchased this from a Microtech dealer. He must have gotten it on trade. Got it for a fantastic price, maybe $100. A first generation Dalton Cupid. Probably one of Dalton's most famous knives. And first generation Cupids were hand ground. I believe that was back when he was still hand grinding them, when the first generation Cupid came out. Purchased this at the Central Kentucky Knife Collectors Show. One of my favorite knife shows to attend. Of course, we can't talk about my Daltons without talking about my first Dalton I ever purchased. Got this when I was down in Florida on vacation. A person was selling off a few different Daltons. I had no clue about the brand at all when I had purchased this, but the person told me a little bit about it. I actually went onto a cruise ship just while I was there. So I went to a flea market, saw this knife, they told me about it. I got their phone number. I went on a cruise ship, came back, and then decided to purchase it. So I ended up picking it up. And that was 6 or 7 years ago. That's first or fourth generation Cupid with the circular lock. Next is the Cupid Militia, the most I've ever spent on any of my Daltons. Got this just recently. I think this is my newest Dalton. I think I spent like $500 on this. Yeah, I did spend $500. 5.5 inch blade though. And you may be thinking, oh, $500 is crazy on something like that. One just recently sold for $600 on Blade Forums, and this is a prototype, so pretty cool. A lot of money for a knife though. Next is the Dalton Kilroy Pro. I'm unsure if this is the Pro or the Pro 2, and it doesn't really matter. Kind of neat. It's probably my least favorite out of all my Daltons, and I honestly don't remember where I purchased this at all. It is one of my older ones, though, or in terms of older in my collection. I purchased it very early on. Next we have a Dalton, what is this, the name of this? I don't remember. It's not the, oh gosh. I went through all these and made sure I remember the name. It's the Dalton Rungsat. Mini Rungsat, actually. Had to turn the video off for a second and try to remember it. Next would be the Dalton Mini Gatekeeper. And these are both California legal. This one I know I purchased from an auction. It was this knife and then like 2 little junk knives. I wonder if you guys could even see that. But it was this knife and 2 little junk knives. And I won the auction and got this for maybe $35, $40. So great deal on that. No clue where I got the little gatekeeper or the mini gatekeeper from. We have the Blade Show 2008. I believe it's called the Smoky, maybe the Smoky 2. Let's click here. Maybe it will focus a little bit better. There we go. Pretty cool knife. Very comfortable handle there. And this is a little bit different because it actually says Dalton on it. A lot of these other knives do not say Dalton at all. And of course, now that I say that, the next one, of course, will. And this is the Dalton Double Trouble. It's one of his knuckle knives, made out of solid brass. Awesome knife. Got this from, what was the name of that show? Queen Cutlery had hosted it up in Wilmington, Ohio. There was a knife dealer, or some type of knife seller, that had a lot of exotic blades. They had one of those huge Swiss Army knives, like the ones that are normally $2,000, that has like the world record amount of blades on it. And somebody actually purchased that right before I saw it. They paid, I think, $200 for it. I got this Dalton Double Trouble for like, I think it was $300. But this is the one that was commissioned by Mark Molnar. So that's kind of neat because I talk to Mark quite often at knife shows as well as gun shows. It's a very cool dealer. And of course it has that little blade, or that little automatic blade. There you go. I definitely will be getting more Dalton Knuckles if I get the chance at a reasonable price. They just keep skyrocketing. Oh, but that dealer that had this, they had some things that I could not buy from him. They had some like gun knives, all those types of things. It was sweet. Next we have the Dalton Warhawk. Right there. This I purchased at the same time as the 4th generation Cupid. This, I guess, was my second Dalton knife. Purchased it in Florida. Next, we have a knife that I did not even know was a Dalton when I purchased it. I was at some gun show, and I purchased, I think it was like 20 automatics all at once. And this was actually one that was in the lot, and I didn't see the Dalton logo until my dad actually pointed it out. Let's see if you guys can see that. Just right there, the little parachute. I was actually thinking that this was some Smith & Wesson knife because I believe they made some knife like this, and it was actually in a Smith & Wesson knife sheath. So that's what I was thinking it was. But when I found out it was Dalton, very happy there. And I did feel bad, actually, when I started researching those knives and found out how fantastic they were due to the price I paid. This next one, I was in Friendship, Indiana at a flea market, and this was in a dealer's case. It is a Benchmade AFO with a hollow handle. So yeah, probably one of my cooler Daltons that has a hollow handle. Next is another Dalton Knuckle knife. Don't know the name of this, don't know if he did name it. And this was the only one that I really commissioned or purchased directly from Rob Dalton. And this one is a side opening automatic. It's right there. The one thing I don't like about this knife is you can't have your fingers in the holes when opening it. There are some knuckle side opening automatics where you would press the button on this side and it would flip out in the reverse. I think that would have been kind of cool to be able to press the button while your fingers were in the finger holes. It would flip out the other side, but oh well. All these other ones are still open. Now going to the knuckles, I have the Dalton Warclops. A very aggressive set of knuckles made out of aluminum with a giant spiked middle finger. And that is actually pretty sharp. And I think somebody's tested it out because there's some of the coating is gone from that tip. And then last are 2 duplicates, and those are the Dalton Ringers. These are just some kind of they're aluminum knuckles with the Dalton logo on them. And these were available from PVK for a long time. And then I was like, I might as well get them. They were like 20, 25 bucks. So I just purchased 2 of them. And I think those were the last 2 in black that they had. Anyways, that is my Dalton knife collection. Hopefully you enjoyed. One of the reasons I actually say the prices that I paid as well as where I got them is a lot of times I'll watch these videos a few years down the line when I forget where I bought them or a little bit of the story. So some of this I document for myself, and you guys are along for the ride. Anyways, let me know, do you own any Daltons? Or which Dalton here is your favorite? Or is there a knife that you've been hunting for? I know there's a few that I'm constantly searching for, that type of stuff. really my main part of my knife collection is automatic knives, not only Daltons, but Lone Wolf, Microtech, the Kershaw automatics, the older ones, NATO military automatics. Let's see what else. Lone Wolf is a big one. Really, any discontinued modern tactical automatic, I really like collecting. I don't really collect stilettos and that type of stuff, so that's why I say modern tactical. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Have a great day. Bye.